One. Hello and welcome to the Love Is podcast, and welcome to my special guest who I've been dying to meet, Leanna Crawford. Your music is so good. I cannot wait until I'm that person one day that I say, who do you know? What concert are you going to? Where are you going? Leanna's concert? Well, way back when I got to talk to Leanna and become friends. So anyway, Leanna, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. You're so kind.
Oh, well, it's so true. It's so true. Your music transcends. I want to kind of go back to the roots of it though a little bit. And you have an album coming out. We're going to talk about that. You got so much going on. But also, you went on a missions trip to Haiti.
Yes, I did. Yeah,
I've been to Haiti a bunch of times. And
How
so tell
cool.
me,
Oh, what part have you been to? Did you go to like Port-au-Prince? Are you everywhere up in
everywhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, amazing. I've never been to Port-au-Prince. I've only been up to Cap-Haïtien. But I love that. Yes, you've done some research. You see that? That was yeah, the first the first trip I took there, I was 16 and I went on this trip really expectant. The one of my friends, the leader of the trip, had kind of encouraged all of us in a different way of like something he felt like, you know, encouraged to like that, we should pray, right, about. And he wanted each of us to kind of like pray about something else. And so he had really encouraged me to like I thought that was really good. And I journaled a lot up before that, and like kind of kept a journal like a diary. But I was especially like around that time, I was just like I was very social. Like I loved hanging out with everybody, and I don't know that I mean I really loved the Lord. I didn't spend a ton of like alone time with Him. And I remember that was like the encouragement on that trip was like to, spend some alone time with Jesus. And I was like, that's really good, especially, you're just in a different country and the whole thing. And so I remember on this trip, it was an amazing trip. The first time I went, and I was kind of expecting like to get something else out of it. But I remembered I was praying every morning before everybody else was awake. Somehow I would just like wake up and I would go up. We were staying in this compound at this church, and I would go up on this unfinished rooftop, and the sun was shining, and it was like January or February, so it was like a lot warmer in Haiti than it was in the Northwest where I'm from. So I was like, I was like, this is nice. But I remember going up on the unfinished rooftop, and I would just like journal and I would pray. And a few of the mornings there were these ladies meeting for Bible study, and they were singing, and it was just like it was beautiful. But I remember that whole time I really felt like God was like encouraging me to do music, which I was not expecting that at all. I felt like he would like call me to Haiti to like full-time missions, which I ended up going back a couple more times, and I love that country, and I just like loved doing that. And I did kind of feel a tugging in my heart, but I felt like on that trip God especially was just saying like, hey, I want you to do music. I want you to, write songs that would encourage others. And I was like, okay, like I love music, but then I kind of felt like that was a little selfish. I was like, I love music. Maybe this is just me wanting this because I think that'd be really cool. But I remember going home and telling my mom about that and my parents, and my mom was like, okay, like let's figure out how to do that. And I'm just like so grateful for my parents because they are such champions and such encouragers, and none of us had any clue like about the music industry or about any of that stuff just from our small little town. But we kind of just like figured it out, and I started playing shows and I started writing songs, and God just opened doors for different things. But that's really where it started, and I had no idea that I could do this as a career. Like that sounds funny to say because it's such a I mean I get to write songs and share them. That's like so cool. But I really didn't know, so just a lot of learning. But God was so kind throughout that process, so it really did. That was a huge piece of where that started was in Haiti.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing. We are definitely kindred spirits. I am in love with Haiti. I've been a ton of times, and pray for Haiti. Everybody listening, please pray for Haiti. They're going through a tough time. And it's
Yes.
amazing to me, Leanna. I don't know if you found this, but it's amazing to me that you go on something like that. And this obviously happened on this trip, but you go there, you think you're going to give, but you receive so much more than you can ever give.
Right. Right. 100%. 100%. And I think that's where like we got to like our church, my home church that I grew up in, partnered with different churches in Haiti over the years, and just to see um, the joy of just the church in Haiti is so beautiful. Like it was incredible, and it's obviously right now it is definitely need to pray for them for sure, and throughout. I mean, really, but that is just such a beautiful country, and I mean, beautiful people there, and just it breaks my heart right now what's going on.
Well,
So
and what an incredible place to get your calling, basically,
yeah,
right?
it definitely was not what I was expecting at
Yeah.
all. I was like, okay, are you sure?
Oh, yeah. Well, I love it. I love that story though. That's some deep roots. That's some really cool roots, and it's so meaningful. And so you're doing what God has called you to do, which that's a special place to be in all by itself. And you are
Mhm.
so talented. I love your music. You've got this album coming out, Still Waters, and story about your great aunt that told you. And Psalm 23. I mean, we hear it at funerals, we hear it all over the place, but really diving kind of the song sort of dives deep into what Psalm 23 really is.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, no, I think it's been really special to kind of to also get to share my great aunt's story too, and it's been sweet cuz I got to meet her one time cuz we grew up on the West Coast and my great aunt lived on the East Coast towards the end of her life, and so I got to meet her one time, but my great aunt, especially for my mom, is just incredible. Like she's the reason my mom knows Jesus. She led my mom to Jesus when my mom was a little girl. So even for my mom, it's been special because she's been like sharing more. But the one time I met my great aunt, it really impacted me. And it still has to this day. But she was just this incredibly vibrant woman. When she found out she was going blind in her 40s and decided to memorize like most of the Bible, well, the whole Bible, but I don't know if she got like all of it, but like most of it. And so when I met her in her hundreds, she was just like this, full of life, just incredible woman who was still serving Jesus into her hundreds. And she like loved people, she loved scripture, she loved the Lord. And I remember like we would be the one time I got to hang, we hung out with her for a few hours, and there was a couple things that I like took from that, but one was like I was like, do you really know like the whole Bible? And so we had the Bible open and we were reading along, and we are like, hey, say, whatever it was. I was like, say Psalm like 57, and she would just start saying it, and we were reading. It was incredible. And then also, and granted, she's in her hundred, excuse me, and we hung out with her just for a few hours, and while we were with her, there were several calls that like people were calling her from all over asking for prayer. And like right then she just like prayed over them, and then she would like come back over and be like, okay, what were we talking about? But just like it was just so beautiful to see her just like living out scripture and loving people, and that really had such an impact on me. So it's been really special to get to share that story, because it's also the Still Waters is the title track for the album too. So it's just such a, it's been really sweet to share her story. And also Psalm 23 is just one of the most, beautiful psalms, and it is like you said, like we all know it even if we don't know it, right? Like we just like we know it, and it's really such a beautiful scripture. So it's been really special to talk about that.
Oh, that is such a cool story, and what a legacy, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure she was also praying for you. And
Yes.
so what an incredible legacy. Great aunt. That is
Yeah,
a great aunt. Yeah,
yeah, really.
yeah, for real. And I love the story of the fireflies and
Oh,
that song. I love that. Can you tell the story?
yes. Oh, thank you. No, I moved to Nashville six and a half years ago. It's almost 7, which is crazy. And grew up in the Northwest, and it's like, the South is so precious because there's fireflies every year. And well, not just the South, it's also like the Midwest too. Like there's fireflies everywhere, just like not in the Northwest or the West Coast. I don't know why. But I get so excited every year we get to see fireflies. And my dad had never seen fireflies, and so him and my mom were visiting. And I say us because my sister and I moved out there together, so they were visiting us in Nashville, and they were there for a whole week right in the middle of firefly season. And I don't know what happened, but like we went for a walk every night looking for fireflies and we couldn't find a single one. And so we like finally the night before they were about to fly back, my sister Lindsay, she prayed this prayer. I didn't even know she did this. She told me later, but she just prayed, "Hey God, can mom and dad see fireflies before they leave town?" And we go for like one final walk the night before they leave, and we're walking by this field and it just like lights up. It looks like stars are in the field. It just lights up with fireflies. I've never seen anything like it really to this day. It was breathtaking. And my dad looked over and he said, "How can you not see a creator?"
Mm.
And it really hit me in that moment where I was like, I think that could really be a song title, one, but then two, and it's funny too because I'd heard him and my mom say stuff like that all the time, right? We'd go hiking or we'd be in just like, how can you not see God? How can you not see a creator? But like in that moment, it just hit me that the God who created the galaxies and the mountains and the stars and the oceans, he also created these teeny tiny little bugs. And how much more does he care about me? How much more does he care about the details in my life? What's going on in all of our lives if he also just like took the time to make those? Like I still don't know what their purpose is, and I've been like talking about these for a few years, and I don't know why. Like they're just really cool little bugs, but I don't know why God made them, and so I just am like I wonder if he just thought we would think they're cool, like if he just did it to say, hey, I love you, like hey, I
Mm.
care about you, and I see you and I see the details going on in your lives. And so I think that's been very sweet and a really good reminder for me too. And just like the small things. And so that's I wrote my song "How Can You Not," and it's been special to kind of see that and just a reminder of like how can you not see God, and you can just look around and feel loved, feel seen by Him because of just and I love being outside. I'm like an outdoor girl. Not like quite like I'm not like maybe like camping quite, just like on the ground, but I love being outside. I love hiking, I love walking and all the things. And so I love being outside. And so I think that song too is just like, hey, hearing the birds sing, I always just feel like it's like God singing over me and I love that. So that's definitely that's yeah, really really sweet.
Yeah, I love that. I got to tell you, I'm in Michigan and I see fireflies and I will never look at fireflies the same again. And
Oh,
it's almost like, little kisses from God, right?
oh
It's just
yeah.
so beautiful. And so I love it that you wrote that. And then on top of everything else you have going on in life, you really care about people. It's not just about the music, right? I mean, when you write, you can tell that your songs are from your heart. They're from moments in your life. They're deep. You sing with this incredible vulnerability, this passion, and I love that about you. You're not just singing, but it's ministry to you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I think that's my prayer with songwriting is how I process a lot of things. And I journal a lot. I said that earlier, but like a lot of my songs are something that I'm going through and I'm, needing to hear. And I think it's like more impactful too. I found that like if I'm trying to write what I think, and there's also that there's both, right? Like I think, this might encourage someone, but really I'm writing my story. And I found that when I'm sharing like what I'm going through, my story, that's like the most impactful because I'm being the most, like, honest that I can be and like vulnerable. And so I think it's like that connects, right? Because I think the lie that the devil wants to tell us is that everybody's got it together and everybody's figured it out, but it's when we can be honest and we can share and like we can bring it to the light that God can really work through that. And I think it's like there's power in testimony, and I think it's like that really is true. And I think that's it's special to get to share that through songs and through music because I love doing that. But really it's I'm hoping that people are hearing their own stories, but also through my story they're hearing their own, and also hopefully I pray that they feel encouraged and that they leave feeling hopeful, and reminded that they're loved. And so that's really when I'm writing these songs, I'm really writing what I'm going through, but also hey I'm very prayerful that they are impactful and that they encourage people too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and they do. They encourage me. I can tell you that. And I think that is part of it for sure, Leanna, that uh you sometimes you can think you're the only one going through something,
Yeah.
but then you realize you're not the only one. And so writing from that place you're going to touch the people that have gone through it, will go through it, are going through whatever it is, the doubts, the heartaches, the whatever it happens to be. And you do it in such a beautiful way. And I got to say, another favorite song of mine is For Heaven's Sake.
Oh,
And I took a year, actually, I was in Haiti. I spent a
oh,
year in Haiti writing on love. I wanted to figure out the true meaning of love. So I took
wow.
First Corinthians 13, another passage everybody knows, whatever. And I took one word or verse a month and figured out what is love that is patient, what is love that is kind. And with
Wow.
Haiti as a backdrop, I blew my mind. And
Wow.
so I listened to that song and I'm like, oh my word, that's love. If everybody could just love each other, right? Like, is tell me how love is involved in what you're doing in that song in life. I know you're a newlywed.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way,
Thank
to
you.
Mr. Cody Zeller, NBA star. Holy
Yeah.
cow, that's kind of fun. But anyway, so tell me where love comes in for you.
Oh man, I think it's really I love that you did that too. I think that's so beautiful. And so I think, I love I love love. But I think that's what, we forget a lot. I forget it's like this, it's so simple and yet so profound and like earth-shattering that like the God of the universe like sent his son to die for us because he loves us. Like to really truly know that you are loved is like to me it's like I feel like I have to like perform. I feel like I have to do, these good things. And not even it's just like no one ever really told me that. I just feel like I need to be, I need to do all the right things. I need to, work. And it's like, no, like God just like wants me. He wants my heart, and he doesn't love me if I have, he loves me the same if I have a really awesome week or a really bad week. Like God loves me the same. And I think it's like it's his love that I hope like carries out to, everything that I'm doing. And I'm definitely not perfect by any means, but like I think music is a really beautiful way to get to share that. I'm really grateful because I feel like, I have I have felt loved in my life, and I felt loved by, by my family, by my husband, my new husband, by friends, and especially by God. I felt his love. And I do feel like there's a lot of people out there that don't feel that and maybe don't know that, haven't maybe experienced that fully. And so like to know that, and I pray that like I can be love, like I can be God's love. I can like show up and like like be that love. And I definitely don't do that perfectly, but that's definitely a prayer. And I think one way that I could do this through music, but I hope and pray that like, maybe some of these songs encourage others. And maybe it's For Heaven's Sake, maybe that song kind of encourages, hey, I can also be love to someone. I can also show up and I can be love, and I can be, kind and patient, and I can be, someone, when someone's going through a hard season, like I can encourage somebody. And I think we never know. And For Heaven's Sake is also like, hey, we never know what someone is going through. That was something my mom always taught me. Hey, like the person that cut you off on the freeway, as much as you want to be angry at them, they also could be headed to the hospital. Like we don't, you don't know. And so I think just that, just trying to be love to people. And I pray that that also is something that people get out of that song especially. And I love that you love that one. Thank you.
Yeah, oh my gosh, beautiful. I am so sad that our time is out. For goodness sake, for heaven's sake, I could talk to you for such a long time. I adore what you're doing. Please tell people the album comes out on July 19th. Where can they go? How can they follow you? How can they know more about you?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun. You can follow me all the socials, Leanna Crawford Music. The album will come out July 19th to all platforms. We're doing something right now that if you pre-order the album, that every 100% of the net proceeds are going to Charity Water, which I'm super excited about. And they are an awesome organization that helps people get clean water all over the world. And they've already helped millions of people, but there's still millions of people that don't have clean water. So that's what we're doing with that, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, the album is about everywhere, and you can listen everywhere you listen to music. But I'm very, very excited. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my word. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you. My gosh, your heart is so big and so generous. And Water, so important, and everything you're doing is just helping people. I just know it is, and blessing people, and it's blessing me. So selfishly, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. And and so thank you for watching, listening, and this is the end of the Love Is podcast. Until next time, be
Thank
blessed.
you so much. Thank you.